We'll be fine.
Stuart. Good to see you, sir. Not the best time. We're just entertaining a guest.
Yes, I met him out on the front porch, the quiet fellow.
He's John Macdonald's son.
I hope I'm not interrupting supper.
No, we're just finished. Excuse me.
Good evening, Mrs. Worsley. The gardens look lovely out there.
Hugh Macdonald.
He does look just like him. Stuart Stark, I know your father.
You don't say.
Yes, I met him at a banquet once, hosted by the late Warden Henry Smith. Good friend of mine.
Well, my father rarely forgets a face or a name. I bet he'd remember what you were drinking if he were here right now.
Charmer. Just like him. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I see.
Stuart is a neighbor of ours. He works as a foreman at the stone mill at the penitentiary.
Have you ever heard of convict labor?
Of course.
That's one word for what I do.
2 words.
Mr. McDonald, are you here for business or pleasure?
Pleasure, I hope.
Yes, he wants to see his old family home.
The finest lot in all of Kingston.
Hugh, you'll have to excuse me. I have some matters to discuss with Mr. Stark. Won't be long. Won't be long.
Attend to your business.
Have you given any more thought to my proposal?
Not really.
Think about it now.
This is Clara's home. Not to mention it's worth significantly more than what I owe you.
Consider it interest. Or incentive to pay the full amount by the agreed upon time.
A time we agreed upon when the Bellevue was my only responsibility. I never expected to own 2 houses.
So don't.
I'm not prepared to give up the house. I have $830.
And I wish it was enough. Truly. I'm not an unreasonable man. But what? That's half of what you owe me? This has gone on long enough. Now, I've lived next door for 2 decades. No one ever lives in the Bellevue House for long. Your wife, she's resourceful. She can build a garden anywhere.
I have discussed this with her, and she is
taking orders from your wife now. You might want to take a look at your chain of command. No wonder they ran you out of Kingston.
I will pay you back in full by November, as discussed. Take the $830 now.
How much?
Hugh?
How much are you owed, sir?
Excuse me?
Hugh, don't concern yourself with...
830 is not enough? How much is enough?
1,600.
No!
That's a difference of 770. I'll be right back.
Colonel, what's going on here?
Stuart, take the money I have here now.
I'm prepared to take the debt off your hands. The Bellevue House is mine. I'll throw $100 in for the maid.
Absolutely not.
Maeve, you've said enough!
You know, Colonel, I've been thinking about it all night. The legislation my father passed, which required you to own 2 homes, Clara was right. It's a flawed system. Here. Consider it a gift from the Prime Minister.
I'm prepared to pay you $15,000 for the Bellevue House.
What is your intention with this property, sir? A flop house? A masonry? Thinking of building a farm? I don't see you having much use for the garden or the orchard for that matter, and you already have a home. It seems to me that you're the type of man who wants for the sake of wanting.
I'm sorry. What is it that you do?
Write the check.
So what was it? 770?
The accumulated interest must be at least 200 by now.
Well, why don't we make it an even 1,000 for your troubles? You won't be bothering these people again.
I stand corrected. You're nothing like your father. And you're a fool.
Hugh?
Not a word, Colonel. I've met men like him before.
And I've met men like you. flashing their wealth around like a braggart.
Maeve,
Yes.
good night. I'll see you in the morning.
Good night. I wonder if I have something of yours. Before I was old enough to understand, my mother told me it was a gift from the Prime Minister. Your mother left it, along with several other items like it. Infant clothing, blankets. I inherited them.
You
I suppose.
wore my brother's clothes.
Until I outgrew them. And I played with that. But it was never mine, I knew that. I don't know if it's of any value.
My mother used to call out his name constantly in her final days. I don't know what's harder to live up to. My father? Or his firstborn son?
I'm sorry. I would never have given it to
No.
you.
Thank you, Maeve. It's a very kind gesture.
For your firstborn son.
Good night.
Good night. Will you be needing anything else?
My mother often spoke of the orchard in this light. I thought I would go for a walk and see it for myself. Is that strange?
It's beautiful.